Yes, please.
Digging for research is digging for intellectual artifacts.
Okay,
like,
digging for, okay.
It's just like in archaeological find.
Yes, interesting. Yes, good.
Solving a puzzle.
Solving a puzzle. Okay. Solving a puzzle. That makes me think of that there is one person. I don't know who, but who has made this puzzle and made it into small pieces, which you are supposed to get together. So there is also another person who has the correct answer to the clue. Or, okay. Every metaphor you come up with I mean, people interpret things differently, but what you have to consider is the whole metaphor. I mean, which implications does it have to say that research is a tunnel with a light outside, or archaeology, or etc. Which implications does it have? So it's very good to try to get some feedback from colleagues if you shall really work with those metaphors in research or in education. To ask questions and get feedback on what does it actually stand for? Which associations do people get when I say that research is a tunnel with a light in the end? Perhaps then you could modify your metaphor to being able to spread the message that you want to spread. There are, of course, very many ways that metaphors could add to research and education, and these are some of them. We talked before about improving, understanding, and criticizing. And as I said, metaphors are mainly for understanding and criticizing, but not only. For instance, to simplify communication, it can help us to communicate in that a metaphor can, like we say, that a picture says more than 1,000 words. You have heard this expression. A metaphor can say something very precisely, get an image to people, and tell a lot in only a few words. Metaphors can encourage creative thinking. If you think that, yes, I could see it as a tunnel, but I could also see it as archaeology, I could see it different ways. If you become conscious of your own metaphors, which we all have, then this might help you to reframe, to think otherwise, to think differently, and to be creative. It's also a shortcut to the unconscious, in that we could study a newspaper article, for instance, and we could come to conclusions of which is the understanding that this journalist has about entrepreneurship. Because mostly metaphors are unconsciously and unintentionally used. Sometimes they could be used intentionally by managers who want to appear in a certain way. We need some more blood here. And they are not talking about we need to go to the hospital and buy some more blood. They are talking about something else. But it could be that they want to appear also in a way while using those metaphors. Yes, we could criticize prevailing mindsets in that we can find out what do people think, how do they comprehend, how do they understand an organization or the business or the Malaysian context or whatever. Yes, I will now start with to say something more about what is a metaphor, and I will also say something about different types of metaphors. This is a little bit complicated, but it's easier than you might think. I should try to make it as easy as possible. And then I will present a few different ways in which metaphors can be used. And some of them we will practice on here, if it's all right with you. Yes. And then we will have some discussion. A metaphor is what we call a simile, but an implicit simile. If you speak the simile out, then it's not a metaphor anymore. Then it's a simile. If you, for instance, say that she was swimming as good as a dolphin, this is a simile. But if you make this comparison, not literal, then it is a metaphor. For instance, she was a dolphin in the water. Please consider this literally for a while. She was a dolphin in the water. No, she wasn't. It's false if you take it literally. But the second one, she was swimming as good as a dolphin. Well, it is probably pretty difficult to swim as good as a dolphin. But it could be taken literally. She could actually do that, but she could never actually be a dolphin in the water. So one more well-known area, which is sometimes called the modifier, is used to get insights on something that is less known to us, which is called the principal subject. Sorry. So if this circle is the thing that we want to understand, the school, for instance, we want to understand what a school is. This is the modifier, the area of which we use in order to understand what a school is. School is heaven, for instance. School is terror. Palace. Paradise. School is paradise, of course. You are a principal, aren't you? School is paradise. And where those two overlap, because paradise is a very big area, and school is also a very big area. And exactly where those two overlap, that is in this particular part. This is the actual metaphor. The thing about paradise that we can use to understand school. Because there are lots of things that we don't use from paradise, and lots of things that we might not understand from a paradise perspective with school. So this is the actual metaphor. Yes, the teacher was a dictator in the classroom. Could be an example of a metaphor, for instance. Types of metaphors. There is a difference. You could make a difference between metaphors of the field and metaphors of the researcher. Metaphors of the field are metaphors that you find out there among the people who you study. For instance, in the newspaper, when you talk to me and if I make research on you, the metaphors you come up with